107 560 SL versus 113 280 SL. The value proposition, part 1. So if I presented you with two choices, a Mercedes Benz that was extremely beautiful architecturally, carried all of the Mercedes-Benz DNA from the 1950s and even some of the pre-war characteristics, yet mechanically was a very modern car, you would probably be very interested. But if I countered that proposition with another Mercedes-Benz, an extremely fast Mercedes-Benz that still had some of the classic looks and features, but also presented everything in a package that was built and engineered very well and very reliably, which one would you choose? The later car may not be as sexy and it may not stop you dead in your tracks, but it is nevertheless a respectable design effort, and it will perform as well as any modern car will when it is running right and when it is well taken care of. Both cars are equally reliable, but the former car, the more classic and beautiful car, will probably not drive at 125 miles an hour all day long. And if you look at the later car, while it is still an extremely beautiful and well-designed automobile, it may never generate the financial presence that the earlier car does, simply because it's not as sexy. What am I referring to? Well, this is the classic dilemma of the 113 280 SL versus the 107 560 SL. Both were the last versions of their respective model types, and both were extremely well developed. They basically reached the end of everything Mercedes could do with that model platform. Now with the 560 SL, I have to include one other model, the 500 SL, which the rest of the world got. While the 280 SL was the same in all markets, the 560 SL was really just reserved for the Australians, the Americans, and the Japanese. The rest of the world had to make do with the 500 SL. But the 500 and 560 have started to gain some traction in the marketplace. They just have to be extremely nice, well-preserved examples. In fact, a 500 SL selling for $100,000, if it is a low-mileage car at some European auctions, is not an anomaly. And a 560 SL with extremely low mileage selling for close to that is not an anomaly either. However, because the 560 was so numerous compared to the 280 SL, you can go out and buy one for pennies on the dollar, at least compared to a 280. Let's look at the value proposition a little bit more from a commercial perspective. A 280 SL will cost you between $45,000 and $65,000 for a decent number 3 condition car without most of its originality erased. We're not talking about a color changed car, a restored car. We're just talking about a solid, reasonably well kept, mostly original car, either 4-speed or automatic. It doesn't necessarily matter what year it is. Meanwhile, a decent 560 SL, mileage tossed aside, a well-preserved, well-maintained car, can cost you anywhere from $12,000 to $25,000. Within the range of these prices, you should be able to get a really good one. Now, the 280 SL will stop people dead in their tracks. It will take people's breath away. It'll get them excited, which is why I bought a 280 SL for myself in the first place. However, the 280 SL is not necessarily economical or quiet or easy to drive for long periods of time. The most I've driven my own 280 SL was to Williamsburg, Virginia, and back with my sister. I drove a one-day stretch of 900 miles, which was hard in that car because the engine's turning at 4,000 RPM. It just doesn't feel very peaceful at high speeds. The 560 SL is another story. You can drive one of these cars all day long at extended speeds with the hardtop on, with your automatic climate control cranking, with your stereo drowning out the noise of the vehicle. If you have heated seats in your car, this is usually on Euro 107s, and you have you have a nice sound system or your original Becker radio working properly, the car will absolutely deliver for hours on end. So I would say that the 107 gives you more usable car for the money, whereas the 113 gives you more of an effect, either your own personal effect or among other people, as well as the fact that it is one of those timelessly elegant Mercedes-Benz designs. Now we're going to explore the details of these differences in a later video, but this is basically the value proposition between the two. Do you want something that is sexy and beautiful and extremely elegant for more money, or do you want something that you can use for less money? This is almost the proposition of having something like a hammer, a very well-designed hammer, but nevertheless a hammer, versus something like a set of silver dishware. Both of them might do their jobs extremely well, but you can't necessarily do the things you can do with a hammer using your silverware, and vice versa. But a hammer has many more uses than silverware does. However, people get caught up in the admiration of like a piece of beautiful antique silverware, regardless of the fact that sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not. It's never going to break down or deteriorate. I'm just saying, like, whether you need to hammer a nail in or smash an insect or break down a door, the hammer can do it. Silverware can't, but you can't also dine with your hammer. It's kind of a funny analogy, but anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please share it, like it, give us a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to our channel for more great Mercedes-Benz information. And if you're one of our Patreon sponsors, like our friend Obi who requested this video, then we thank you very much. And for all of you, we really appreciate you supporting our channel. And in the meantime, stay tuned for more great content on the 113 versus 107 proposition.